She didn't just steal my husband, she stole my entire life. And the worst part, I helped her do it without even realizing. My name is Amina. I am 89 years old. People look at me today and see a quiet old woman, but what they don't see is the truth I've been hiding for over 60 years. A truth so painful that I never had the courage to speak it out loud. It all started in 1964. I was just 21, newly married, full of dreams, full of hope. My husband, Kareem, was a kind man, soft spoken, hard working. I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. We didn't have much money, but we had peace. We had love. Our home was small, but it was filled with laughter. Every evening, we would sit together, talk about our future. He used to say, Amina, one day I'll give you everything you deserve. And I believed him. I trusted him with my whole heart. Then she came into our lives. Her name was Syra. She was beautiful, confident, everything I wasn't. She was my cousin. And she came to stay with us for a few weeks. At least, that's what she said. At first, everything seemed normal. She helped me in the house, talked sweetly, smiled all the time. But slowly, things started to change. I noticed the way she looked at Kareem, and the way he started avoiding my eyes. One night, I woke up suddenly. I don't know why, but I felt something was wrong. I walked quietly towards the living room, and what I saw still haunts me to this day. They were sitting together, talking in whispers, and when they saw me, they both went silent. I asked Kareem, "What's going on?" He smiled and said, "Nothing. You're overthinking." And I believed him, because sometimes love makes you blind. Days passed, but the distance between us kept growing. Syra started becoming a part of everything. She would sit with Kareem, laugh with him, and I slowly became invisible. I wanted to say something, to fight, to question, but every time I tried, a voice inside me said, "What if you're wrong?" Then one evening, Syra came to me, closed the door, and said something that destroyed my world. She looked straight into my eyes and whispered, "If you want to keep your marriage, you will do exactly what I say." My heart stopped. I didn't understand how or why, but that night, my life changed forever. Should have told Someone, I should have screamed, but instead, I stayed silent, and that silence destroyed me. That night, when Sarah looked into my eyes, I felt something I had never felt before. Fear, not the kind that makes you run, but the kind that freezes you completely. She stepped closer and said, "Amina, I know your secret." My heart dropped. I whispered, "What secret?" And then she said the one thing I had buried for years. Before I got married, there was someone else, a man I once loved, a mistake I never told anyone about. It was something I was ashamed of, something I thought would die with me. But Sayira knew. She knew everything. She had letters, old letters, that I thought were long gone. She smiled, cold, calm. "If Kareem finds out about this, what do you think will happen?" I couldn't breathe. In those days, a woman's past could destroy her entire life. She didn't shout. She didn't threaten loudly. She just whispered, "From today, you will do as I say, or I will ruin everything." I felt trapped, not in my house, but inside my own life. I had no one to talk to, no one to trust. At first, her demands were small. "Make tea for us. Leave us alone for a while. Don't question anything." And I obeyed, because fear is stronger than pride. I would sit alone in my room, hearing their laughter, hearing my husband laughing with someone else, and I said nothing. Days turned into weeks, and then one day, she said something that completely shattered me. Amina, I'm not leaving this house. I looked at her, confused, scared. She continued, in fact, I'm going to stay here forever. That night, I confronted Kareem with tears in my eyes. I said, why is she still here? He didn't even look at me. He just said, she has nowhere else to go. And in that moment, I realized I was losing him. I cried, begged, prayed, but nothing changed. Instead, I started disappearing from my own marriage. Then one night, I heard something that broke me completely. I heard Kareem say to her, don't worry, soon everything will be ours. And in that moment, I understood. This was never just blackmail. This was a plan to take everything from me. I wish I could tell you that I fought back, that I saved my marriage, but the truth is, I lost everything without making a sound. That night, after I heard Kareem's words, something inside me broke, not loudly, not suddenly, but slowly, quietly. I finally understood. Syra didn't just want my home. She wanted my life, my place, my husband, my existence. The next morning, I gathered all my courage. I stood in front of Kareem and I said, tell me the truth. Do you love her? He stayed silent for a few seconds, but those few seconds felt like a lifetime. Then he said, I didn't plan this, but yes, I do. In that moment, I didn't cry, I didn't scream, because sometimes pain goes so deep that it takes away even your ability to react. A few days later, he came to me with papers and said, it's better this way for everyone. My hands were shaking, my vision blurred, but I signed because I was already broken. And Syra? She didn't even look guilty. She just smiled, like she had won. I left that house with nothing, no husband, no dignity, no voice. I spent years alone. People asked questions, but I stayed silent because some truths are too heavy to explain. But today, after 60 years, I realized something. I didn't just lose my husband, I lost myself. If I could go back, I would speak. I would fight. I would not let fear control my life. So if you're listening to me right now and you're silent when you should speak, scared when you should stand strong, please don't make the same mistake I did, because sometimes it's not people who destroy your life, it's your silence. If this story touched your heart, subscribe, because maybe someone out there needs this message before it's too late.